Hi, welcome back to the Obstacle Gab. Here in episode 2, we'll be speaking to Colin, our extraordinaire in the world of trail running and OCR. So, hope you enjoy this episode. Roll VT.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll start that again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of the Obstacle Gab. People wondering what Gab is sort of like the gym, and Gab is another way to talk or gossip. And then tonight, we've got an exciting interview session with our favorite trailblazing runner, Colin, also known as Trail Running Dude, a phenomenal OCR, trail ultra runner, not only passionate about running, committing to inspiring others through his experiences and milestones. So without further ado, let's dive into his journey and see who Colin, or AKA the Trailblazer, I can't even speak tonight, the Trailblazing Runner, AKA Trail Running Dude, is about. So, Colin, thank you for joining me this evening. Me and Colin both have young people in our lives, and we're on about our children, and the aim tonight was to try and get them into bed for this interview. I'm happily say we have succeeded, but I'm expecting a 4-year-old's face to pop past me, knowing that I have not achieved that challenge. So if you do see my 4-year-old daughter, I will expect it. She might have a question for you. So, Colin, pleasure of us to have you today. So to start off, I want, if you may, to tell us a little about your 200 days of showing up. What it is, what is it about, and how did it start? There's your first two questions.
Okay, so wow, this is literally today. This wasn't it? Yeah, it started off in January. I just thought I'm just gonna do Red January, run every day. I used to run 6 days a week anyway, so it didn't feel like anything extra. And basically, I've just carried it on. I quite enjoy it. It's a little bit of headspace for me each day. And yeah, that's it really. How long it's going to go on for, I don't know. Could be a year, could be next week, could get injured. I honestly don't know. But yeah, at the moment, I like it. It's keeping me sort of focused. Yeah, I just enjoy it, and my Instagram, where you got it from, I basically just put that on there every day. That's like my little sort of check-in that yeah, I've done it. A few people I chat to regularly, sort of interact with, sort of, well, I think I'm crazy, but they like it at the same time.
We all like crazy in the world of OCR trail running or any of the other high rocks. We all have something upstairs that is special. I'm going to see if I can do this, because I think it's worth. So I am going to share. So hopefully this picks it up.
So this is Colin's Trail Running Dude site on Insta. If you got a spare 5 minutes, have a pop over, see what he's about, and follow his stories and give him a like.
Done. My technology is working. So your achievements are impressive, I have to say, Colin. And I did some stalking, and you have I cannot speak tonight. You have covered over 200 miles in both May and in June. So I think, what was your biggest challenge you faced from January until like today? What was the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Probably the biggest challenge was actually some fundraising for my son's school. I did the David Goggins 4x4 by 48 challenge.
If you've not heard of the 4x4 by 48 challenge, this has been set by David Goggins. But who better to explain it himself than the man?
You don't know exactly what it is. You are going to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So that's 12 different legs, and I'll get to that in a second. If you cannot run, you can bike. You can do push-ups, sit-ups, go to the gym during this time frame. So let's say it takes you 40 minutes to run 4 miles, but you're not going to run. Take that 40-minute block, go to the gym, go walk, do some physical activity for that time frame. It's not just for runners, it's for everybody. Let's say that you can't do all 12 legs. Do what you can. Do 1 leg, 2 legs, 10 legs. And then next year, try to do all 12. Progress up.
Thank you, Mr. Goggins. And there we go, folks. That is the challenge. So if you want to step up and take part, let us know.
So
Stay hard. Stay hard.
Yeah, yeah. So if people that don't know what that is, it's running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, which I'm going to say only with quotation marks. It is only 48, miles over 2 days. So personally, I don't feel that's a big amount to run, but the fact that you're not getting a lot of sleep, still got a parent, during the waking hours. So, I'd rather go running. That's easier than parenting sometimes. So yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge I've done this year. Like the races are pretty easy, to be honest with you. At the moment they're not, they don't scare me or anything. The races that I'm doing. So, but yeah, that was a good challenge. And like I said, raising some money for my son's school was the added bonus for that.
Because I think you've raised £800, or is that the last total?
Yeah, I think it's about 850 quid last time I looked. I did. It was for the basically we went for my son to get assessed for ADHD.
Okay.
And the ADHD Foundation run a sort of a campaign called the Umbrella Project, which basically gives schools a visual displays of umbrellas to highlight neurodiversity. And then it also gives the teachers extra training. So, yeah, I found out about it by an awesome little guy called Rawson George, who has been fundraising for about 18 months now. So any extra money that I've made is actually going towards his fundraising as well. And he's done loads of schools now. He's a little legend. But yeah, so the school have actually had the display. They've put it up, which is really good. And yeah, so like I said, I just wanted to raise awareness of it in his school because it can be challenging with children sort of trying to wind up other children, then how the other children, kids are kids. But just knowing that if they do something to a certain child could trigger them. It might not just be Oscar, it could be another child, who's not suffering, but is on the spectrum and reacting in a negative way, just being aware of it, and hopefully it just makes the world a bit of a nicer place. And I wanted to do something that I felt could help. And yeah, me running a fair bit and not sleeping is, it's pretty easy, it's standard stuff really. So, but yeah, I was pleased with that one.
But now, thank you for me. I'm a lecturer at Gloucestershire College. So a number of my students have neurodiverse needs, and it's always great to see the support of the extra boards, the extra filters, the pen readers, or the instruments that enable them to thrive. And seeing that money then be turned into something that's useful for the foundation at your school is really great, because a lot of fundraising, we raise money, it goes to organisations, and we never really see the full tracking, but with that, you can see an output. So no, thank you for that. On the 4x4 48, anyone interested, type in David Goggins. As you said, the 48 isn't that hard. It's just every 4 hours you'll do 4 miles, and there's a lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So looking at the 4x4 by 48, and you're achieving 200 miles plus in May and June. In May, you also had another challenge of your Wainwrights. Now, I understand that you bagged 19 Wainwrights. Now, I think for someone that has no idea, may think you've gone to 19 shopping centres. So firstly, what is a Wainwright, and what did the achievement of 19 meant for you?
Okay, so what the Wainwrights are is they're mountain peaks up in the Lake District. And there was a gentleman called Alfred Wainwright who wrote 7 guidebooks. And basically in these 7 guidebooks, there's a total of 214 peaks. So about 10 years ago, without knowing it, I started bagging them, like sort of trying to visit each peak. Like I said, I didn't really know I was doing it at the time. It was just we were up there and decided to tick a few off. So yeah, the whole idea is I want to complete all 214 on the 17th of August this year, which will be my birthday, and I want my last one to be both my son's first one. So my 6-year-old will walk up it, and I'm carrying the 1-year-old. So yeah, those 19, they were just ticking some off. I'm actually up there this weekend. I'm going to do 5, and then I'll just leave me one more to do on my birthday.
Outstanding. And if any of the watchers in the TOG team or wider afield fancies tackling a Wainwright, as in plural, do you have a tip for a fellow enthusiast looking to start the journey of what you are on at the moment?
I mean, tip-wise, I'd probably start with something like Cat Bells. Just it's reasonably small. It's got great views. It's not a very technical route or anything like that. And then if you want to start doing them, just start doing some research. First of all, learn how to be in the mountains and, use a map like safety first. You don't want to be calling that mountain rescue. But just devise your own routes, decide how you want to do them, and save one for the last. Pick one that you want to save and plan around it. So I deliberately decided to save one. It's called Wansfell as my last one because it's relatively small. You start from Ambleside, so naturally when you get down, you're near pubs as well, and you can be damn sure I'm going to be having a couple of beers once I've completed this challenge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, and then it'll lead on to other crazy things up in the Lake District. I know that for certain.
We'll look forward to the updates of you completing that, and then eagerly excited to wait what is the next challenge for this athlete that is part of the team. Now, I'm going to say, I see what comes onto your face. Backyard Ultra, the Farm Jam. Now, I understood you did a phenomenal 54 miles, which I think, if I remember, that's the furthest you run in one go. Is that right?
It is, yeah. I mean, great. First of all, great event. It's only a small little event put on by Overload, who down south is a great race. So shout out to them. Really, really good guys who run that. Pleased and disappointed with that one. I really wanted to go for the full 24 hours and get sort of as close to 100 miles as I could do. It was my first backyard ultra, so for people that don't know, on the hour every hour you run in effect 4 miles. And if you're not on the start line again for the next hour, you're out. So it's normally a last man standing, but this one they just sort of capped it at either 48 or 24 hours. So I've done the 24 hours. And yeah, it was a boiling hot day, struggling to eat. I mean, my mate who crewed me, Jay, it was an absolute legend. One-man crew, pit bitch, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, so it was good to experience it. I've got another one in March, so I've learned a lot from it. But at the same time, I'm a bit frustrated that I didn't at least get 100k. But that nibbles me a little bit. I think I might have been able to squeeze another couple of laps out, but at the time I was done in. So you learn. So
is that a return challenge for you in the future?
I'm already booked in for a backyard ultra in March next year, which I would actually prefer because it'll be cooler. So I'm better when it's cooler. And a couple of things I learned I'd do differently. So yeah, I'm going for that 100 miles in 24 hours in March next year.
I mean, 54 miles is a bonkers feat. And then to aim for that 100, we look forward to you taking on that challenge. And no doubt you've learned the lessons and what it's taught you, and you're going to go forward more prepared mentally, physically, and logistically. And hopefully you'll get some crazy nutter of your pit crew that will support you like the legend did on this one.
That crazy guy's running it with me next time. So
is he?
What we're going to do. But yeah, we'll figure. So, crazy attracts crazy, and a lot of my mates are pretty stupid, so
it's unique characters of life. So moving from yourself, recently you attended your son's first Spartan. Now my eldest is 16 and she's been through that with the OCR girls, and recently my 4-year-old Amber took part in her first Little Mudder. but she's yet to do her first Spartan Orange race. So what was that experience like for your son? But more importantly, what was that like for you as a dad, watching your son take his first steps into the world that you've been accustomed to?
Well, I mean, it was actually his second one. He did his first one last year at Midlands. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he loves it. He doesn't really do any, the rigs or anything like that. He's not confident enough to do that, but he just loves running around. Running around, climbing over stuff, getting muddy. So yeah, he loved it. I mean, last year when he did his first one, probably my favourite picture was him right at the start line. Spartan feels like getting them all G'd up, and he's there going mental, like he's loving it. And if you think the men's start line at Spartan is brutal, you want to have a look at the kids because I wouldn't want to take off with them because there's elbows and everything flying, there's kids getting flattened. It's brutal. Yeah, he loves it, and he loves coming to the obstacle gym as well. He absolutely loves it going there. Just seeing like the first time he went, he was too scared to go over the A-frame. He got to the top, but he didn't want to go over it. And now he goes over it straight away. But I have to say to him, do not flip. If you flip, you're in trouble because you don't know how to do it, and it's too high for you to learn, and your mum will kill me. So do not flip.
That's
and he's found out those.
Yeah, flipping. Yeah. I've got visions now of my 4-year-old trying to replicate. She does that, and she'll let go at the same time, and literally I'll just be looked at bad dad. So yeah, thank you for sharing that experience. But you have more than one son. You have is your youngest one now, 1-year-old?
Yeah, he was one last month. Yeah,
so
he's just as crazy.
So for anyone that is newly mother, father, with a child who is into sort of trail obstacle course racing, do you have any advice, because you've been on this once already with your 6-year-old and now again, any advice to how do you balance the training and everything else that goes towards it whilst balancing family, father, work, OCR, trail? Any advice or tips that you've found for this last year having 2 boys?
To begin with, have a very supportive partner. My wife puts up with a lot. Weekends away or out of the house for long runs and what have you. So yeah, that's first and foremost. You got to have a very supportive partner and sort of talk about what races you want to do. Try not to do something every weekend. Don't go and race every weekend. That's not fair. Try and get them involved with it as well when you can. So, Oscar Spartan, I was racing her already, so it was nice that him, his cousins, my brother, my mum were all able to come along and sort of kind of watch them all terrorising around the course. Training wise, I'm a morning runner. It's not unusual to be out between 5 and 5:30 to get a run in. But again, at the weekends, sort of saying to my wife, look, you have a lie-in one day, as much as the line you can have when you've got 2 kids. But I'll get up, deal with them, and then I'll do what I want to do later. So it's trying to balance it out. But yeah, I'm very lucky with my wife that I can she understands that it's important to me and will let me disappear sometimes or do stupid, crazy things that I find fun.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And before I go to the last question, I am envious of behind you. You have Optimus Prime. I am Gru. You got the DeLorean, and I think you've got Wally and who? Oh, I'm Batman. And you got. I didn't even see that. You got the Batmobile there. So yeah. I am impressed with the display in the background. So. Thank you for that. So as with last week, I have got a different hat. So this is the hat of knowledge, and it is my mustard one. So, Colin, for anyone that is new into sport, not just OCR, but trail running and watching this and says, I fancy, what is your one top magical tip from the hat?
Just go out and do it. Just literally go out and do it. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just
There we go, folks.
Yeah, go do it, and don't care what. Don't look at what anyone else is doing. Just do you.
Just do you. Go out and do it, and you never know what might happen. Colin, I am absolutely surprised we both have not been disturbed having young kids in the house. But you're a busy man, and it has been an absolute pleasure for this short chat to find out who Colin is, who this trail runner is. So congratulations on the raising above £800 for the ADHD Foundation, obviously for the diagnosis and seeing that out. Well done for them, Mum Rose. And then no doubt it'll be interesting to see the updates from the 5 you're doing soon. The Backyard Ultra, I still think that over 50 miles is nuts. But I am sure you will smash that 100 with your pit crew beside you, hand in hand on the next one. And I look forward to that. And then realistically, the 200 days of showing up is just going to, I love the way you went, yeah, there's no end date for this. But let's see if the 200 miles will extend in. Are you on track at the moment for July?
No, I'm deliberately not doing 200 miles in July.
Right, okay.
Dropping down a little bit because I'll be ramping it up sort of August and September to get ready for the Spartan Ultra in October.
So Spartan Ultra, where is that this year?
Pippingford.
So hopefully I will be, due to my knees, I'll be technically officialing. So hopefully I'll see you, but I think it will just be like that. No, I think that was Colin.
I don't know. If my shoulder is still knackered, then I'll be limping. I'll be spending more time on the penalty loops than the obstacles.
Will you be doing the British OCR Champs later on in the year as well?
No, it's the same day as the Ultra. So
Ultra wins.
Oh yeah, the longer the better. So I'll be doing the Ultra and the Super and or I'll probably be limping around the Super and Sprint course the next day just to complete the trifecta. I'll be at badminton as well in August doing both races.
Yeah, I'm in badminton as well, so hopefully I will see you there running past me as well. So I'm getting my OCR fix as much as possible by being on the obstacles. So
cool.
The last question was realistically after that is what you're doing in the future, but you're doing the Ultra and you're going to be at badminton in August, which I know a number of the team are. So Colin, before we finish, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss or give a shout out to before we end this chat on the Gab?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Griffin Trez for just they're top blokes. When Trez, is a bit dodgy. You don't want to, be in the dark room with him too much. But no, in all joke, they're top blokes, and just the way they welcome Oscar to the obstacle gym whenever he comes along with me is absolutely amazing. I was there for hours this weekend, and basically they were parenting, just keeping them entertained whilst I was just doing laps of the place. So yeah, no, thank you for them. They do a great job with the obstacle gym. They do a lot for us all as a team, and yeah, if you're in the Midlands area, just go check it out. It's a really good place and really friendly people.
Brilliant. So there it is from the mouth of Colin, the trail running dude. You need not only a supportive partner or spouse, you need a Trez and you need a Griff to look after while they're going round. And they must own their own obstacle course as well. So Colin, it's been an absolute pleasure here tonight on this Wednesday night, finding out who you are. I didn't really know who you are except for your amazing post on Insta. I now know who you are, and you've got the most amazing collection behind you, and I'm jealous. And I'm happy that I'm going to be seeing you at badminton and again in September. So Colin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. And if you've got nothing for me, that sums it up from episode 2 of Find Out Who People Are on the Gab. Thank you, Colin.
Well, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 with Colin's inspiring story. If you want to find more about the Obstacle Gym, or you wish to become part of the race team of the G team, then please search Tog the Obstacle Gym, or simply drop me a DM, and I will happily share all the details and answer all your questions as best as I can. Now, coming up in a couple of weeks, we have episode 3, where we are blessed to have Joe. Joe is one of our team members of TOG, but also she heads up the technical committee for the British Obstacle Sports. So she's going to come and discuss of how that works, how you can get involved, and what goes on behind the scenes, and more importantly, where is it all going. So from everyone here at TOG HQ, thank you for joining us on this episode. I'll see you soon.